Go ahead.
So, everybody, today we are recording this September 1st. September starts off National Suicide Prevention Month. I know a lot of us have been touched by that. We have talked a lot about mental health. Today's episode deals with mental health a lot. I recently, actually, last weekend alone, had to help talk to a friend to prevent some things from happening, and it's just don't be afraid to reach out for help. There are people that love you, that care about you, and no matter how bad you think things are, there's a light. It is better. Lupe, I don't want to fuck your saying up, but I would rather listen to an hour or 2 or 3 of you talking and complaining than listen to a eulogy about you. Is that how you say it, right?
Yeah.
Just, again, it's Suicide Prevention or Suicide Awareness Month. Dixon Flannel, if anyone's out there listens, they released a brand new flannel today in honor of it, and proceeds are going towards suicide awareness. But please, it's not the answer. There's always someone to talk to, and that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Do you have the suicide prevention hotline number?
Yeah, you can actually call 988.
Yes.
And I believe you can text that number too. But the actual suicide prevention lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255.
Logic has a song about it too.
Yeah.
It's a badass song. So yeah, not to bring things down before we start the episode, but I just wanted to throw that out there. You have friends. This guy that I talked to, he said he was alone. He didn't think he had any other friends, and he thanked me. And since then, I've talked to him a couple of times, and he said, "You don't know how much that meant to me to have me talk to him." So deep shit, man.
Missing someone.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Impulsive Thoughts.
It was nice knowing you, Lupe.
We are back together again, guys. And lady.
Whatever.
You're talking to the listeners anyways, I thought, not us.
I know, but I'm still talking.
So we only have one lady listener?
Possibly.
My mother.
I wonder if it's all... Good day,
well,
mate.
then 2.
I wonder if it's Australian.
No. well, then 2, because...
we didn't give us any updates last week.
Well, anyway, I'm joined here with...
Yeah, let's
stay on track. We are back again together.
It is September 1st.
It's September 1st.
Boo.
I'm joined here with Donnie Rowe.
Hey, how's it going?
Dano.
Yeah.
And Alli P.
I'm going to rip that thing out of your fucking hands. I hope those get stuck on your fingers.
They will.
Good.
You need surgery. Oh, that's right, because they spin. I can't twist them off.
Right, correct.
Shit.
Oh, shit.
But thank God somebody here knows how to get them off, and guess who that is? Me. And guess who doesn't want to take them off of your fingers right away? Me.
Guess who doesn't give a fuck?
I'm a dick.
Anyway.
Now that we've got our friendly banter out of the way.
Mom and Dad are fighting again.
Donnie, hold me.
Hold me closer, Donnie Rowe.
I thought you were going to say Tony Danza.
No, that would be too
I like that.
known. You like what, my singing? Or Tony Danza?
Definitely the latter.
Who's the boss, though?
Not you.
I didn't say I was. Not even
Just making sure that is very clear.
I'm not even the boss of my own house, so.
Yeah, well.
I think Easton is.
You know.
Also,
I don't know.
Podworld, I made those fucking headbands, and then they're done, and I don't want to hear it. They are free of charge.
but I didn't get my cock sock yet.
She can't physically make one because it's so small.
Really?
Oh,
That's what you've told me.
Really? I'm
I
not
was
talking
just
about
going
that.
To say that I was never given measurements. I also don't want measurements.
Like, wait a minute, wait.
Let me finish. Don't want measurements. And Daddy Vato said,
Wow, I haven't heard that one in a while.
yeah, you're welcome. Brought it back. Looked at the patch today on my table. Daddy Vato said no go on the other cocksacos. No go on the looky loos. I said, okay.
So, Danny,
Yes, sir.
what do you have for us today?
You see, what we have here is a failure to communicate. I have finalized my Elisa Lam story after months of
Yeah.
speculation, months of foreshadowing, months of stalling.
We'll go with stalling.
Out of all of those adjectives, stalling would be the one I would go with.
I have finalized.
I'm actually like super excited about this episode because.
Do you know anything about it?
Yes,
Do you know anything about it, Alli?
Yes.
Do you know anything about it, Donnie? Oh, cool. Okay, good.
Yeah, matter of fact, on my way home, I was listening to one of was it Morbid? Yeah, I was listening to Morbid, and they were doing an episode. But
Great. So now you're going to compare me to
sitting-
them, the last one you heard.
no. Like my thing is like sitting in traffic and trying to listen to a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes get very heavy,
Yes.
so I decided at like Dalton Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I need to put music on and sing or something because I'm falling asleep.
So because all I listen to is a true crime shit, or I used to, after so many hours of Morbid or Crime Junkies or the other ones, I would start getting fucking tired too.
Yeah.
And Smartless keeps me awake because I laugh so hard at those guys. And I know you said you can't get into Smartless.
I still can't get. I'll
But,
still like try to listen to what is going on over here.
I'm tasting the cookie through
Oh.
John's mouth.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
wait a
Do you
minute.
remember that time we watched him eat pasta? And I'm doing that right now.
I feel violated.
It's okay. It tastes good from over here.
Well, and that ends the shortest episode we've ever had. See you guys next week.
We were like real quickly, we were flanking Don at the Italian Fest, and Lupe was like, "Okay, now take a bite of the meatball."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, now like chew it really slow." All right.
This is why we can't have anything nice.
Where do they
I
all
don't even
go?
know where it went.
One over here somewhere. Oh, it's way behind you.
There's one by Alli and one
One
behind
of
me.
them
That's
went
it.
in here.
That's it. There's only two missing. Then one by you and one by me, and that's it. Oops.
in the thing.
See what happens when you guys give me toys?
That was a bad idea, Alli.
You think I'll be quiet. You think I'll play nice.
One of them is in the pool table.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a post-show search and rescue operation.
For you.
I think Danny just got jealous of you sexualizing my eating.
I'm a little hot. Feel me, I'm sweaty. By the way, I'm wearing that's aphrodisiac perfume.
That's okay.
I was gonna ask you if it smelled like the other day.
Excellent.
Well, I know I've smelled the smell before, but sometimes you change your scents. So
When I want things.
That smell. Can't you smell that
I
smell?
rub the pork belly on me. Does that count as an aphrodisiac?
Y'all turn me
You
on.
want to know?
I might start licking you, but hey, it's all right.
Okay, maybe Dan will let you know. It won't be me. The cookie's all I'm allowed to have, so I'm full. I've had my allotted. Anyways, back on track.
yeah, back on track.
I'm on keto and I'm hungry.
Throw the pork belly away now.
So, just to show you guys, I started my notes originally June 13th,
Holy shit!
1999.
which is still, I think, 5 months after I first mentioned wanting to take notes on
Yeah.
them. So, can you say I'm a procrastinator?
You're a procrastinator.
And I want to say I
I've
had,
got 2 episodes started already, too.
I had 2.5 pages done before an hour ago, and now I have 14 pages. So,
An hour ago.
well, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I work best under pressure. See?
I told you that we almost didn't have an episode.
No,
today.
I was going to have it done because I had it planned out. I just hadn't written it out. And so I have a way to do it better next time because I have a laptop through work. And I told Jamie my notes would be a lot better because I go to so many different sources that, I don't, like you talked about, I don't write them in order. So then you see I have cliff notes on, okay, this is about the history. This is about this. So I'm going to be flipping pages where I told her if I was better at typing, I could, copy and paste and move whole paragraphs around that way instead of flipping pages and writing notes, So what is that?
It's the cookie.
But see, I do my notes totally differently. I read everything first, and then I put everything in order as I go.
See, yeah, we have different styles.
Alli
Then.
has 14 pages written within the first 5 minutes of her research.
See, so then why are you talking shit when I wrote 10 pages in 2 hours?
I said first 5
Okay, so
minutes.
listen. I had a dream that you did not have this done. Lupe basically did a pool table flip and said, "Get the fuck out." We went and ate tacos, and then I had a case ready by Sunday. That was
Why Sunday? What's Sunday?
because we just kicked you out, and I recorded a case on Sunday.
You see this? She tried to fire me earlier for real, and now she's having dreams about...
That was...
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I gave you the benefit of the
I
doubt.
have the text message to prove it.
If it makes you feel better, I tried to get out of it by telling him I think I'm sick. I don't know if I
Yeah,
can come tonight.
yeah, I did. I forgot to tell you that. He's like,
Show him the
he's,
video that I sent, though.
he's like,
motherfucker.
oh shit, I didn't mean to hit
Surprise,
that.
motherfucker. No,
was-
I'm exaggerating how much I wrote earlier. I had a lot done. I told Lupe earlier in the week and you, I was trying to get shit in the right order. So that's why, like I said, I can show you. I have these cliff notes, and then you'll see I ran out of ink, so I had to change my pen. So I've written
It took 3 weeks.
multiple different times. You know what?
I'm just fucking with you.
Taking my notes. Fuck you guys.
I'm fucking with you.
I'm
You can
fired.
fuck with me.
Firing. I quit. How about that?
This is what I sent to him.
I don't get paid
earlier.
enough for this shit.
Maybe he's about to leave because he doesn't really actually have notes and he just wants a way to storm out.
So wait, what is The Shining? Catch him and kill him. Is that what he just kept writing down?
Red rum, red rum.
This is what I sent him earlier after you sent, okay, fine, I don't have anything to be there for anyways. I sent,
I see the confidence, my fellow podcasters.
And then-
I'm not even
Hey,
using the
I
word
gave you
friends.
the benefit
I'm not
of
even
the
using the word
doubt.
friends with you guys anymore. You're just fellow podcasters
I
now.
gave you the benefit of the
he
doubt.
did. He said, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that right afterwards. So that's your friend right there. Me, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But you hate on me all the time, but you can't take it back, so it's fine.
I don't hate on you in front of you.
Clearly, I have the balls to show it to you.
I don't hate on you ever. Whatever I can't say to your face, I don't say at all.
Well, I showed it to you to your face.
I know. Anyways, let's get this shit started.
Don't lose more of those things.
I will not. There's one somewhere over here and one somewhere over there.
Somewhere over here.
So, let me take you to a time and a place, a magical land, if you will. California.
California, you say?
Skid
Yes,
Row.
sirree. So, Elisa Lam. This is where I want to start. She was born April 30th, 1991. This story, case, whatever you want to call it, takes place in February of 2013. She was 21 years old still. She had not reached her 22nd birthday yet in those first 2 months of 2013. She was a 21-year-old Canadian student who disappeared in 2013 at the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA
Oh shit! Sorry.
while she was traveling across the United States. So,
Now, wasn't this trip that she was on just like, it was like a find herself kind of a trip?
yes. No.
Sorry, am I jumping?
No. You're doing good. You're doing good because I have history.
See, no, yeah, that was my other thing. Like, I was gonna say something about she was at the what was it, British Columbia or something like that.
College in British Columbia.
Yes.
So, I have. See, and just after I tell you guys, I have my notes in order. Okay, so, I don't have much of her childhood, but this what I have in my notes as her history leads up to like her couple years beforehand. Lam's sister revealed to detectives that Lam had a history of of not taking her medication. Okay, so here we go. This is what I want to say after giving you her life and death shit. In mid 2010, she began a blog called Ether Fields, and she did it on this thing called Blogspot. For 2 years, she kept it up. She posted pictures of models and accounts of her life, and particularly her struggle with mental illness. And then after doing that for about 2 years, in January of 2012,
She was bipolar, correct?
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry.
I guess I didn't.
This is your story, not mine.
No, that's fine. Because that's why I was trying to think out where I introduced that at, and I thought I did it earlier, but I didn't. So that's why it's kind of a little flip floppy right now. Because so after 2 years of doing that, she stopped posting on that Ether Fields, and she started a new blog post. On that Ether Fields, she had a blog post, and she stated that she had a relapse at the start of school that semester, which forced her to drop several classes, leaving her to feel so utterly directionless and lost. Direct quote. And she titled this post, "You're always haunted by the idea you're wasting your life," which is a quote from novelist Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know if I said that right. And she worried that the withdrawals from her classes that she was withdrawing from would affect her attending grad school. She wouldn't be allowed to go to grad school anymore. So tying into that, and again, this is where, like I said, I didn't put this together right, where I say Lam's sister revealed to detectives, because this kind of goes. So she had been diagnosed with extreme bipolar disorder. She had suffered mental breakdowns in the past, where she became delusional, and she used to fear someone was chasing her.
That's wild.
Yes.
Her bipolar was. I mean, I've met a lot of people that suffer from bipolar disorder, and none of them have had actual delusions.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, a lot of them have had like the personality, like the extreme switches in personality.
Yeah.
But never have I heard of them actually like having delusions.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's what it sounds extreme. Yeah.
That sounds very, very interesting.
Yeah, you're right. So,
and honestly, I did not know that was like a well-known characteristic of bipolar disorder.
I don't know
delusions.
much about it. Yeah, I don't know much about it.
I thought
at
it
all.
was more or less just a switch in mood
swings,
swings,
extreme mood swings,
and
yeah.
like your I'm trying to think of the word.
Chemical balance.
No, your hyperactivity.
Oh,
yeah.
Like your energy levels, not just your mood, but like your energy levels being extremely tired and then being hyperactive and everything like that. But I've never heard of really delusions.
That's interesting.
But I guess that would kind of go along with the hyperactivity, because if you think of people that are like super hyper, maybe their brain is running haywire, and that's where the delusions are coming from.
I mean, you look at like ADD and ADHD,
That's what I was
attention
gonna
deficit
bring up
hyperactivity,
too, yeah.
like, and even my kids who aren't diagnosed with anything, like they're super hyper and their brains going, and they're really good at make believe, because I think they're so hyper and doing that stuff, you know.
Well, kids in general,
because
their minds are so overactive. Yeah.
So, yes, very good insight. I don't know if I have, no one's revealed it to me, but I don't know if I've met anyone that's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. If I have, again, they've kept it quiet. It hasn't been revealed to me.
That's kind of a very personal
right,
one.
exactly.
It's got such a stigma wrapped around it. People are like, "Oh, you're bipolar." You know, that's just another
right. And that's more of like a.
And it's also kind of like
an insult.
An insult, if you say someone's acting crazy, it's because you're bipolar.
Right. Well, it's just like, oh, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I hate that shit. Just because someone drinks a lot doesn't mean that they're an alcoholic.
Right.
And that's that shit pisses me off. Just because you go through a bad day and you're very, very cranky, and then the next day you're not having such a bad day, doesn't mean you're bipolar.
Right. It means you're on your period. Oh, wait, sorry.
No clapping for that one, Daniel.
Is that an insult too? I don't know.
I don't know. The woman on the podcast thought it was funny.
So, to get back to the story,
I approve.
after that blog post that stated the whole relapse, that was in January 2012. So about 2 years later, I don't think it was quite 2 years later. It might have been 2 years from when she first started her blog. It was 2 years after she started that one in 2010. So about 2012, she quit that blog, and then she started another one on Tumblr, and she called it, I believe it's French, Nouvelle Nouveau, and I didn't look up the translation, but it was a fashion blog.
Nouvelle Nouveau?
Yeah.
I thought it is?
Yeah, Nouvelle Nouveau, how you pronounce it. And it was a fashion blog which showed fashion photos and quotes, and she also shared some of herself in her own words. But a key thing is she used the same Polanyi quote as an epigraph for it, which an epigraph is, like an introduction, kind of a description.
Bio.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, it says, I'm not going to reference it later, but it's kind of haunting that you're always haunted by the idea you're wasting your life. That's deep, if you ask me. So
It is really.
It's very.
But
yeah.
I mean, it hits home
Yeah.
because people say that all the time.
yeah.
Live like you were dying.
Yeah. So to go along, so that's just kind of the preface of what she was doing as she was making her trek. That's why she wasn't in school in that January/February. It's kind of right before school starts, anyways. But she was making this trek from the British Columbia, Canada, to Jesus Christ, California.
A find
Yeah.
yourself journey,
Yes.
kind of a deal. That's what I've always kind of heard it described as.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have a list of the medications that she was on, which to me means nothing, but if we have thinkers out there that are into the medicine stuff,
I love that caught on.
she was on Wellbutrin, lamotrigine, quetiapine, dexedrine, spansewal, and venlafaxine.
So basically, she was on a fucking fruit cocktail of fucking pills.
Yes. Also, this is going to tie in later, but I'm trying to give the history of her. Her family has stated that she never had a history of suicidal ideations or attempts ever. So with all this bipolar going on with her, never once was suicide a thought of her. She never attempted it. She never spoke about it. She never idealized it. There was no history of suicide anywhere in her past. From her family has said that many a times. Which again, that will tie in later when I get later.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't want to cut you off, but like, does any of those pills have those effects? Because I know, like, you take one pill, like, there's a long ass list of side effects. I mean,
most of those, if any, so I'm pretty sure that Wellbutrin is antidepressant, and any antidepressant has possible risk of suicidal ideations.
that's so insane. Like,
So I mean,
I hate.
I'm on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication, and I mean, even for my migraine medication that I'm on,
Right.
fuck my birth control that I'm on. Literally every single medication that I am on,
you're right.
every single one of them, is depression, suicidal ideations, weight gain, blood clots, tumors. It's everything.
I fucking hate big pharma. Anyway, proceed.
To cut you off,
Yes.
but to insert more or less. I
Just giggity.
I read somewhere that, like, basically she said that this trip was to prove to herself that she was able to, like, live her life with her bipolar disorder
Yeah.
on her own.
Okay.
It was like a self-discovery trip. Not only that, but like to prove to herself that she can do it.
Which also makes more sense with what I'm going to say a little bit later too.
Because she was struggling with the fact that, like, she's coming to her own, she's coming of age. You know, I mean, yeah, she's in her 20s, but still, as a girl, you're really coming into being a grown woman. You're
Yeah.
not a teenager anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you're in college, you're about to be done with college. So she was trying to prove to herself that she can do this without her parents, without that kind of stuff. So
Yes. So, from her history, again, I hope this translates well. So I want to go, because I had mentioned her trip led her to downtown LA, where she stayed at the Cecil Hotel. So, one of my resources, and also I watched it months ago. I haven't watched it again recently, but I know some of my memories and then also some of the notes. There's a great documentary on Netflix called The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel.
Yes.
And I didn't go too much into that one because I wanted to leave this one kind of to let everyone think your own thoughts. But that documentary does have some different answers, and they feel they solved it, but I don't agree with it all the way, what they say. So that's why I'll get to that towards the end, too, about what they say. But the Cecil Hotel, it has a reputation for death. More than a dozen murders and suicides have taken place in and around at Cecil since its 1927 opening. Elizabeth Short, which you guys all know as the Black Dahlia, she was said to have been seen at the Cecil like just mere days before her murder. And the hotel served as a temporary residence to, guess who? Serial killer Richard Ramirez.
I know.
Stinky chops.
The Night Stalker.
Yeah.
And also, this guy I've never heard of, and it's kind of interesting, a different serial killer called Jack Unterweger. He was an Austrian serial killer, and from what without going into too much research on him, I did find out he was suspected or I think convicted of 12 to 15 victims, but rumors have it they could have 20 to 30 more victims that they couldn't verify yet.
Wild.
So, yeah, 2 serial killers for sure, and then also, like I said, the Black Dahlia had been seen there days before her murder.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the history of the Cecil, or part of the history.
And it's not a great neighborhood.
No.
Yes.
No.
So
I think they also used it to film stuff like American Horror Story and stuff.
Yes.
well, it was. See, that's what I didn't. Part of my notes also, which I went. I didn't go into cultural references, but I believe it was the 5th season of American Horror Story
Was based
based
off of the Cecil.
kind of on the Cecil, yeah. Also, I had heard before, I didn't see it either. Before it was filmed, there was rumors it was supposed to be based off of our dude in Chicago, his murder castle.
Oh,
H.H.
H.H. Holmes, his murder castle. But so that's why maybe 2 of them went together into creating that.
Yeah. Which would make sense. I mean,
Because wasn't his murder castle the hotel downtown?
No, it was literally his own house. It was a murder castle. He had. That's a good story. That I don't think I could do that one justice. That might be an alley one.
That's definitely an alley one.
Because he had rooms that you'd go into.
That's
Yeah.
Y'all just blowing up my skirt.
Secretly, that's one of the
That
two
I-
that she already started.
You know what's funny? Like
Done.
history when we did
The fuck?
we did a haunted tour of Chicago, a haunted and serial killer tour
do that.
for Jamie's birthday, and that was one that was the first time I ever heard about H.H. Holmes, and I've been infatuated with him since then. This was probably
2012.
what's 12?
12, 13.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is. Anyways, so also about the Cecil, she stayed at a part of it called the Stay on Main. So the Cecil had converted half of its floors to the Stay on Main in an attempt to market itself to travelers while also simultaneously maintaining its long-term residents on the separate floors. So it was technically 2 properties, and they had different lobbies and entrances, but the Cecil and the Stay on Main did share elevators.
It was basically a hostel.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I have it was a hostel.
Yeah.
So because you could which part what I get into a little bit now is multiple guests could stay in the same room.
Right.
Travelers, like I said, they made it kind of a hostel. They wanted to
It's a budget hotel.
Yes.
Which is the whole point of a hostel, is for short stay travelers, but that don't want to pay for a whole room by themselves.
Yes, exactly.
It's like a B&B, like an Airbnb.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You're paying for a bed, not exactly the whole room.
Yes. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. And also, so I have what I have next, which, so she originally was in a room with multiple guests. All right. We don't do this while you're telling your stories. Anyways.
I don't know. I don't look up.
She was she was in a room with multiple guests, but she had gotten moved to a private room by the hotel because she was disturbing her fellow guests. which on another page I wrote notes on what she was actually doing, which is crazy.
See, and that's what I didn't hear. Like I know she was bothering her other guests.
Right,
and
I never
everything
knew
like
how
that, but
to-
I didn't know what.
And I finally found out what.
Okay,
Hit us
awesome.
with it.
So she said she was disturbing her roommates she was leaving notes for her roommates that said go home and go away, and then she would lock the door on them in the room, and she'd require them to give them a password to get back in the room. So stuff like that. So they complained. So she got
how
moved.
many people she was splitting the room with?
I believe I saw 4 somewhere, but I don't quote me on that.
She was the fourth.
Either she was the 4th or was her and 4 other.
Holy
but
cow.
I don't know why that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
But I didn't write that down. How many? It's just multiple roommates.
That's crazy.
Also, during that time, she was escorted out of a television taping of the Conan O'Brien show earlier in the week because of that disruptive behavior.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So then the hotel manager also
I would love
described.
to see that clip.
Right.
Yeah, right.
To
I
see
wonder, it's
how
gotta be
wild
somewhere.
that she was acting.
Because if they were filming, it's got to be, didn't make the air, obviously, but behind the scenes shit.
Which that would have been great for part of the investigation to just show her
Right.
mental state
Yeah.
leading up
Right.
into
Absolutely.
her death.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, that's got to be somewhere. It's taped.
Yeah. So yeah, very interesting. The hotel manager I have written down, she described an outburst that she had in the hotel lobby. I don't have details or anything else or when, but just she described another outburst that she had literally in the hotel lobby. So this is part of So on January 28th, 2013 is when she checked into the Cecil Hotel. She was on the 19th floor. There's 19 floors there, 700 rooms. And this is where we talked about it. It's located in a rough area, downtown LA, known as Skid Row.
Skid Row, yeah.
So it is located in Skid Row.
Lots of drugs, lots of homeless people.
Yes.
And it's crazy because, like, a block over is, like, nice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's but that's LA. It's,
Right.
It's like
Similar
block-
to Chicago.
Well, right. Block by
Yeah.
block, it's different. But so
Yeah,
she didn't
you know what? Yeah.
and especially because she's not from here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had no idea that she was going to be on Skid Row.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at it, and especially how they had it advertised, the Stay on Main.
Yep, exactly.
It looks like it's this like kind of boutique posh hotel.
4 or
And-
5-star hotel.
Right, and
Right.
you've
Really
literally
was-
got hobos in not even tents, but
They're
like,
sharing the elevator. Like I said, sharing the elevators. You might go to a different floor, but they shared elevators.
right, and they're right there. And
Mm-hmm.
even if those people can't afford the hotel, they're right outside.
Yeah,
Listen
and
about
that's what I heard too. Like people would just like try to scrounge up as much money as they possibly can, and they would get a room.
Right, or part of the hostel
Yeah.
to share that bed.
Insane.
Right. So I mean, she had no idea what she was getting herself into.
Correct.
So I'm sure if God, could you imagine if her family had known where she was staying?
Well,
If she had known,
but that ties. Well, I mean, I'm guessing they probably didn't know the area.
No,
but
not-
I didn't
not
write this
originally.
down. But from all my research, she talked to her parents daily.
right?
Yeah.
She checked it with multiple times a day. Like she was close with them. So that's
Right.
kind of what leads to the disappearance being known.
But not. It's kind of one of those things again where she's trying to make it on her
Yes.
own, so she's probably not telling them.
Right. Exactly
There's
what
a
it's like
hobo
there.
dude
Yeah.
shooting heroin right outside. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this guy hustled me for a ham sandwich earlier. Like,
Right,
You know,
right.
Right.
So, yeah, so this is interesting because my notes, like I was telling you earlier, I wrote them at different times. So this note says she was traveling solo, which she was, but she did stay with people for a while. I'm guessing from the way I wrote this down, they weren't, because again, being a hostel,
Yeah.
they weren't 4 friends she was staying with. She was traveling solo, but in a conjoined room.
Right.
She had planned to check out on February 1st following that 4-day stay, which she checked in January 28th. Lam's family, they last heard from her on January 31st, her 3rd day in the city. They reported her missing the very following day, and then they did fly in to help with the search, which again comes in later. So part of her disappearance also was the hotel staff saw her alone the last day that she was there. They saw her alone, so that because again later theories that she was being harassed by someone or bothered, blah blah blah. Actually, so Katie Orphan, who's a manager of the Last Bookstore, it's the name of a bookstore, was the only person outside of the hotel who recalled seeing her that day. So, and she said, quote, she was outgoing, very lively, very friendly. This was while she was getting gifts to take home to her family. Also, quote, she was talking about what book she was getting and whether or not what she was getting was going to be too heavy for her to carry around as she traveled.
I remember that. That was so sweet. And it's like, that to me doesn't, it says that she's planning to go home.
Exactly. It doesn't read suicide at all.
No, it doesn't. That one little thing, that little conversation that meant nothing to nobody, it struck me as she was planning on going home. She was buying souvenirs to take for her family and plus
she said she was lively and happy.
Right.
So
but that's also, think about
bipolar.
It. She's bipolar.
Yes, it could change at a moment.
I mean, that's characteristic and that's being very stereotypical.
Right.
But, I mean, it's true. But the fact that she's also thinking, this book would be great, but it also could be too heavy. But like she's planning.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
It's like I said, I hope I'm doing justice because this case is one that I think about nonstop because of all the stuff in it.
It's like the priceless piece of case. It fucking makes your head spin.
Yeah.
And you don't get answers.
Right. Yeah. So
thank God we had that buffer in between.
I know, right?
Because otherwise people were gonna get mad at us for just literally making them answerless.
Yeah, so now part of her disappearance is, which leads into part of the disappearance after the stuff I read. So before I get to that, so a video of Eliza was filmed in the hotel elevator. This was filmed on January 31st, the last day she was seen alive, before she vanished. I'll talk more about the elevator in a little bit. So there's a video of her from January 31st. Very eerie. I'll get into that.
I was going to say, which if you've seen the video,
we'll post it.
Fucking creepy.
So I'll get into that in a minute. So that was January 31st. Before anything about that video happens, February 6th, after she went missing the 31st, her family notified police. I think on the 1st I wrote February 1st. Yes, her family notified the police the next day after she went missing the 31st.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say almost immediately, right?
Yeah, they flew out to L.A. So February 6th, the LAPD posted flyers with her image in the neighborhood and online, and this brought the case to the public's attention finally through the media, because the media was all over this. Now, part of the reason of this flyers, now, they still, after a while, they got, okay, it was known, it was talked about, blah, blah, blah. Well, then we go back to the video. It went viral when it was released by the LA police during their investigation. It was released on February 13th.
Insert web sleuths.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. So,
I mean, and in this case, I feel like they helped and hindered.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, the detectives weren't unable to determine what happened to Lam based on the video, and a floor-by-floor search of the hotel on February 1st turned up no trace of her. So this ties into why they released posters and stuff on February 6th. And then when that didn't get them enough leads, they released a video on February 13th, my dad's birthday, and Ryland's birthday. No, February 19th, sorry. Damn it. But anyways, they released a video.
Samsonite, I was way off.
No, it was February 13th. Fuck it. I wrote so many dates on here. February 13th, they released a video. Now, this video, are you guys ready? This is the part that I'm most excited about, is this fucking video. The elevator doors did not close at all in this video.
Which is very strange for elevator doors.
Especially in a hotel.
Yes.
So here's a quick synopsis, and then I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. She appeared to be speaking with someone unseen. Her movements were strange. She jumped in and out of the elevator.
They were like erratic.
Yeah. Then she vanished. Which, now, my details, it was a 2.5 minutes of footage on this video, which I'll get to later. She makes unusual moves and gestures. She appears to be pressing every button in there. Then she looks out, peers into the hallway, comes back in, moves weird. She actually leaves the elevator because the doors do not close at all. Walks out of the elevator. She returns the elevator.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah. returns the elevator because the doors still have not closed. She's in the elevator still making these weird movements, looking around. The doors still do not close. Then she just walks out of the elevator, and that's the last time she was seen at all. A little bit later, the doors mysteriously just close on their own with no one else being in there, around, or nothing. Oh, yeah, I got...
And you know what's weird about the video? Like if you and I'll try to get the video
I'll get it too. We can post it on
Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram.
The way she looked when she went back into the elevator, it looked like somebody was chasing her because she tried to make herself small in the corner by.
It looks like she's fighting nobody.
Yes.
That's the thing that I've seen everyone say. It looks like she's fighting air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like she's fighting some unknown force, and like her movements erratic, but they look like fighting stances. Like they are just. They're so weird. They're just weird.
Yes. So, the video garnered worldwide attention, and it was reposted widely. Actually, a Chinese video sharing site called Youku, Youku, 3 million views and 40,000 comments in the first 10 days alone of it being on their site. So, there are several. So also the video. Some people have said that the video was evidence of the supernatural. Do you need another beer? And there are still conspiracy theories about her disappearance to this day. Which again, I get to that. Several theories. Here's several theories.
Here's your drink, master.
Stop it.
Master.
So several theories are. She's trying to get the elevator car to move to escape someone, which we had talked about.
Yeah.
She's afraid of something. Another theory is she's under the influence of ecstasy or other party drugs, which I'll get into that later.
That was another thing that I read about, heard about, rather.
Yep. And that's the two main theories. And another one is supernatural, which I put a little tiny side note, which when this is all over, I'll explain what it is. If you haven't heard about it, if you do know about it, people believe she was playing the elevator game.
See, I wasn't going to say it because I knew you were going to mention it.
Yes.
I didn't want to jump ahead for you.
That is one of my favorite things. So that's going to be at the end of all her shit. I'll get into what the elevator game is. So then also now part of the theory is when it was released, because nobody knew about the bipolar stuff in the beginning, but when it was released, her history of the bipolar disorder, one of the theories was that she had a psychotic episode, which we kind of discussed. How you had said, Alli, she acting like that could be bipolar stuff.
Now I don't know if you're going to cover this or not. Just tell me to shut up if you are. Was it found to be proven that she was on the right dosage of her medication?
So that's I go over all that because
all right, go ahead.
When I said about the ecstasy and other party drugs, I'll go over that with her autopsy results.
Okay, proceed.
Yes, no, it's fine. It's just like I always ask a question. Yours.
Proceed.
So others have said that the video was tampered with before it was made public. When you see, if we find a way to post this video, which we will, I'll find a way. You can see the timestamp is blurred, which is fucking weird. And then people claim that there are parts that are slowed down, which makes it look more like, doesn't look like she's moving right. And also there's nearly a minute of footage was removed, which if you remember, I said there's 2.5 minutes of footage, but every reported video I've seen is only a minute and a half long. So yes, there's a minute of footage missing somewhere.
Yeah. Which
I didn't write this down, but I remember reading it. There's people that theorize because maybe it does show someone else on there that they're still looking for, or someone that
key to the investigation that they're holding out hope.
Yes.
Which they have every right to do that.
Right. Or they even thought it could be they did identify who it was, and this person literally has nothing to do with her missing, and they don't want to be reported as being in there.
Right.
So that's kind of just fucking weird because now the whole world thinks this lady's by herself and they're acting crazy, but the detectives know, oh no, there was someone in there she was talking to. So that missing minute is fucking weird.
So the timestamp thing to me is not as weird because I've worked in a lot of stupid places where they have security systems where those timestamps aren't accurate. They don't work. They are stupid. So like think about this hotel. Think about where it is. Think about how old it is. So and think about all the has that security system been updated?
Probably not.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It
So
was
like,
probably pissed on by a hobo.
right?
Yeah, especially yeah, right. I mean,
So to me, that is the least of my worries. But I get why they include it in there because
Conspiracy theorists.
it's just something
Yeah.
to pick on. I get it. But to me, that is like the least of it. So
The timestamp probably said 1995.
correct. And you know what's so funny that you say that? I'm giving you time to chew, by the way.
I know.
In all of my
Been waiting for someone else to talk for a minute.
Yeah.
Did he that?
in some of my childhood pictures, I'm like, oh, this was my 6th birthday. Mom's like, no, I just didn't know how to change the date on the camera.
right, and that's the thing. Like, I'm sure we have plenty of home videos that say like 94, and it looks like I was 7 or 8 years old, and I'm
Right.
like, no, I wasn't.
But do you remember when Kodak used to print the date on the
Yes,
bottom of the pictures?
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, this was not that Christmas. And Mom's like, yeah, I didn't know how to change it. So that's just what it was.
So,
So, I mean, and that was in the 90s. This is the 2000s, and they still had it fucked up. So, that's neither here nor there to me.
yeah, you're right. So I kind of, I'm along your line of thinking, but I still.
They got to have something to pick on.
Part of me, the conspiracy theory, still wants to know why the fuck is that missing? Why is there a minute missing?
Why is there a minute missing? Yes, I agree with that, but I think it has something to do with the fact that, like, in so many investigations, there's
Yes.
a crucial piece of evidence that they have to withhold.
Yes.
Because that is the ace in their hand.
Exactly. Like if someone comes, I did it, I killed her, okay, and then you say everything that you've read in the news, okay, that's nothing new. But all of a sudden you say something like, she had a pink barrette that I took out of her hair, and all of a sudden you're like, bingo, that's what was missing.
Correct. And that's what's in the footage is shown that her
Right.
the zoom in of her pink barrette.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, and then to kind of like touch on the conspiracy theory with 9/11. Look at the fucking video footage at the Pentagon was mysteriously taken away by the government, and it hasn't been seen since.
I did not know that. We're gonna have to do conspiracy theories later. I know that's your favorite,
Yeah.
so don't hijack my
No, go ahead.
don't hijack my story like those planes were hijacked.
Oh shit!
I'll give you that one. It'd be the first thing Allie's like what you said.
So now that I covered her
My
disappearance,
butt puckered.
whoa,
What the hell?
whoa, and the video, which again I will get into that a little bit later, or not later, but I went over that. Like it's hard to explain the video. So please, if you guys listen to this, go look for on one of our social media sites. We will have the video posted.
We'll post it.
I got it.
when
You
we
got it?
drop
So yeah,
it.
so we'll post that. So it's hard. You have to see the way she's acting to understand what we're saying. It's freaking weird.
I'm keeping these boys on track with posting the post right when the episode drops.
I used to do it, for mine, and then, I was hoping they would. Anyways, so
Listen, I got you.
so now we'll go to the discovery of her. So this is disgusting. Weeks
Oh, yeah.
after she disappeared,
Chunky.
weeks
3 weeks.
weeks later,
Chunky.
the hotel began to receive complaints from guests about the shower water pressure, as well as it being discolored,
Ugh.
like black, and it was foul tasting. It was not just their shower water, but their drinking water. A worker then scaled a 10-foot ladder attached to the rooftop water tank. The water tank, there was actually 4 1,000-gallon water tanks on the roof.
Didn't they think like just some animal?
Right. They had thought maybe an animal had something. So the worker climbed the ladder, went to this water tank, moved a 20-pound lid, and discovered Lamb's body floating face up in there. So to recap, black water and foul tasting. People were drinking water that her body was sitting in for weeks. Blech.
Well, like, it wasn't hot because it was January, California.
But it was still LA. It's
But
still
it's
hotter than
still
we
Yeah,
get here.
hot,
Still-
and it's on the roof of
Yep.
a building, and it's cooking
Yes.
In a metal container.
in a metal container.
Yep.
So this was
Tasty.
Soup.
February 19th when her body was found.
Nom, nom.
Yep. Oh, February 19th. 19
Bundy probably
days.
stayed- or no,
Dahmer.
Dahmer probably stayed.
Yep. 19
Dom, dom,
days
dom.
after she was reported missing.
Dom nom nom nom.
Dom nom 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 nommer. Did I just send that to you? I thought I sent it to you.
So
Did I send it?
I'd have to look at it.
You don't even read my text anymore.
now, I didn't write this here, and maybe because you guys have all listened to enough true crime. When I said that she was discovered her body floating face up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't normally drowning victims are face down, which is what they thought was kind of weird that she was face up and not face down in there.
Honestly, I don't.
I said I didn't write this down, but I've heard it somewhere. There was a reason why they specified that she was found face up. My fault, guys, for not being thorough and not having answered that. But
I don't really.
I don't know, of all the cases I've listened to, I don't think I've ever actually came across a drowning situation like that.
Well,
so
no,
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
think that it really has. That they are normally found one way or another.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they can be found both. I think that if they're. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, so Lam reportedly she was naked, and her clothing, and some clothing that appeared to be similar to what she was seen wearing in the elevator video, was found in the tank with her. It was coated in a sand-like particulate.
Ooh.
Again, I don't know what that means.
I didn't know anything about that. That's
Yes.
interesting.
And there's actually a conspiracy theory behind that too.
I think I heard it, but I didn't. Again, along with the clothes, her watch and her room key were found in there with her. So,
Were the clothes at the bottom? Obviously. They had to drain the whole thing.
Yeah, they drained the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess they cut a hole on the side of it
To
yeah,
get her
to
out.
get her
to
out.
get her out.
So, the body was moderately decomposed
I was gonna say strain her out.
and bloated.
Huh?
Yeah.
I almost said something really terrible, too. I almost said
it-
that they provided...
So, besides being mostly greenish with some, decomposed and bloated, it was mostly greenish in color with some marbling evident on the abdomen and skin separation had started. So,
Which is pretty common in water.
yes.
The marbling, especially because of the temperature change.
Okay.
In your blood vessels.
Okay, that's different to me. I'm glad you have some insight on that then. There was no evidence of physical trauma, sexual assault, or suicide, which I don't understand how you cannot have evidence of suicide. So the coroner ruled Lam's death an accidental drowning. Police reportedly believed the student, who was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, for some reason hid in the water tank and drowned. I think, you know what? I think that's why something about her being face up is they think that she was in there trying to tread water just to hide for a little bit as part of the story. Instead of face down, someone pushing her in, you'd fall face first if it came from behind.
Holding her under.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. I wish I would have wrote that down.
Okay, but hold on. They believed... reread that sentence to me again? Because I'm having a hard
Right.
time chewing that.
Police believe the student, who was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, for some reason hid in the water tank and drowned. So,
And they're saying... okay, all right.
yes.
I mean,
I don't like chewing on that sentence.
But-
everything about that is fucked.
it's fucked. But at the same time, you have to remember that she was paranoid. That she thought that people were after her.
I understand that, but they're saying that it's not. She's not suicidal. She's not. That there wasn't any foul play. That anything like that. So, but they're not looking any further into it either. Something has to be further wrong. If yes, I get that this is all in her head. I get that. But let's look
Or
a little
is it?
further into the fact of, was her medication correct?
Stop it. I'm getting there.
I know. I'm just saying that whole sentence doesn't sit right
Right.
with me because they're just saying, oh, she freaked out.
Right. So,
They're just so quick to dismiss it.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the whole point of mental health and why it's so fucked.
so after I go over everything,
Yes, I'm sorry. That
no,
just made me
that's
so
fine.
angry.
I just want to let you know a precursor. I'm going to open my phone for Wikipedia because they have a whole section called Other Issues,
Yeah.
and it goes over like some things. Like so, anyways. But
And I'm not trying to be pissed at you, but the whole thing of what you said was you were like, but you have to remember she was paranoid and she thought but that's exactly what that that dumb fuck just said.
Me?
No.
Like, damn. The police. I get it.
Right. But that's their mentality. Cut it dry, close it.
Well, and that's the thought I got too.
I totally get what you're saying.
So
That's the thought I got a lot of time. All the research I read where all the police are like, oh, but she was bipolar. Like, that's their fall too. She was
It's
hiding
their
because she was bipolar.
scapegoat.
She was like, you know what?
Yeah, they're trying to take that easy way out.
she was an alcoholic.
Right.
Oh, she's done.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't really care because it happened at a hotel on Skid Row.
Correct.
Right,
Exactly.
that too.
So she could have been using drugs.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you seem like the asshole, but like that's what sparked me to be really pissed because that's exactly the mentality that they just had. Continue, Daniel.
So
I'm invested.
before I go into
Mental health is huge with me.
yes, multiple theories throughout the years, a victim of foul play or even supernatural activity or bipolar disorder, and she decided she wanted to hang out in a 1,000-gallon tank of water. Whatever.
Go for a late night swim.
She's like hot tub question mark?
Right.
Where's the bubble butt?
Right. So, Lam had left her belongings behind at the hotel, including her laptop and all of her clothing. So she wasn't packed up, none of that stuff. It was all in her room. There were no signs of forced entry into her room, nor any drug-related paraphernalia in her room at all.
Which at this point she was in a solo room.
Yes.
Yes, in her
Because,
solo room.
Yeah, because of the
Right.
quote unquote roommates complained about
And she
her.
was the only one with a key to that room.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making crossing T's,
Yes. And
dotting
dotting
I's. Golly.
So
Crossing I's and dotting T's.
You're giving me the stroke.
I'm going to get into the toxicology report next, and I'm going to restate my first sentence when I thought I was starting with her history. I don't know why I put in her history.
Dr. Dan.
But-
Dr. Dan.
Again, her sister revealed to detectives that she had a history of not taking her medication. Among her possessions left at the hotel were several prescription medications seemingly untouched. Now we go to her toxicology. Toxicology tests showed traces consistent with prescription medication found among her belongings, the prescriptions found among her belongings, plus non-prescription Sinutab and ibuprofen in the toxicology report. Very small alcohol, 0.02%, plus no other recreational drugs at all in her system. Let me repeat that. No other recreational drugs in her system.
I have a question about the alcohol part.
Okay.
So they did the toxicology.
Mm-hmm.
This was 3 weeks later.
I have an answer for that.
How did they find traces of alcohol in her system?
I don't
That's
have an answer
3
for that.
weeks.
So, one of the things I did not write down, like I said, is the wiki other issues.
Uh-huh.
And I did see a bullet point about that I was going to get to. But to finalize the toxicology report real quick,
Yeah, go ahead.
investigators and experts noted that the concentration of her prescription drugs in her system indicated she was under medicating or she had completely stopped taking her drugs altogether. So that ties into if she's being treated for the bipolar, if she's not taking her medications the right way, or if she stopped altogether, which leads to the one Lupe said, maybe it was a psychotic episode because of not being under medication. But it's just a no. Like, I'm not using that as an excuse. And like you had
Right.
said, we don't know. She was trying to like you said, be on
See
her
if
own
she can do this
and
on her
do it on her
Yeah.
own without the medication.
So
So
you said she was under medicating though?
the experts say either under medicating or had completely stopped because of what the trace amounts was in her system.
Okay. So
That it's not exact whether she had stopped altogether. I believe I saw in another in that Netflix documentary or another report I'd read
got you.
that I read somewhere that the pill bottles for when she had got them refilled and what was left in there was way more in there that should have been. So again, still not definite whether she had stopped completely or under medicating, but she should have had way less in the pill bottles than
Right.
was in there. So
So
to
she's
go with-
way more. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's way more. like susceptible to having
A psychotic breakdown.
an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I mean, either if she is under medicating or just not taking them at all. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're doing not enough or none at all.
Right,
It doesn't
right.
matter because your body is used to having that substance in there.
Right.
And if your body doesn't have an on-off switch, it's just going to go. So
Correct. Yeah. The body is a weird fucking thing. I don't care how many doctors and scientists and what think of something. Once they think they got something figured out, especially the mind, something different can
Right.
happen. Every fucking billion person individual is different, and their minds act differently to everything. Their science, the chemical makeup of the brain, it's all weird.
and
it's all
I'm
weird.
wondering,
Happens in house every episode.
But except
love it.
House figures everything out within
Right,
the
right.
episode.
I'm wondering, and this is just me speculating, obviously, if like she was having all of these delusions and all of a sudden she thought that her medication was causing these delusions.
True, right.
So she stopped?
taking them. Because
I'm sure she's not the first person.
no,
Exactly.
that's exactly why I'm thinking that. Because I mean, I've heard of people. I mean, you hear about it on TV all the time. People think, oh, well, this medicine makes me feel crazy. No, you're just feeling that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Like your medicine is actually helping combat that, but you're having a part of an episode, and your medicine just hasn't caught up yet. Mm-hmm. So, but you have to keep taking it to be able to keep ahead of the fight.
Yes.
Oh gosh, that's
It
just
also depends on how people take their medicine too.
right. Correct. If
Yes.
you're on a schedule.
Right.
Well, not only that, like, have you guys seen the new video of like the woman that was getting arrested and was calling like the EMT sexy and all that?
No.
No.
Oh, so it was just like a short clip of that. Like you could tell she was off of something. Well, I saw the body cam footage of like the whole arrest. She was in like an episode of Psychosis,
Oh shit.
but like the cops figured out that the medicine she was prescribed, she would crush up and snort.
Oh Jesus.
Instead of ingesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Takes us back to telling Logan to butt chug a beer.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I have a question about that now.
Butt
Butt chugging a beer?
No, not butt chugging a beer, but as far as taking medication as prescribed or snorting it, like
Is it snorting it, mainlining it kind of?
Yeah.
You're getting it in your
enters
system
your-
fast?
It
It
enters
enters
your
your-
body in a different way.
okay,
Because it's through absorption or inhalation.
That's why
Ingestion.
on this
Yeah.
lady's bond, it specifically says must take medicine as prescribed. That's why she got arrested.
Oh, you got a
Because
point. If you look at medicine bottles, it say must
does,
take orally,
yeah.
must take this way, so that you know.
Right.
So
Don't-
her bond specifically said must take prescriptions as prescribed. That's why she got arrested, because they found out she was snorting them.
oh, okay.
Because
Sorry,
no, that's okay. They have different effects.
And even the
Yeah.
cop explained it to her by snorting it. It goes straight to your bloodstream, straight like right into your system.
interesting. Like I you know, and
That's why people like take things like rectally because it goes into your bloodstream faster
Yep.
because you have
Like
so many
butt
blood
chugging a
vessels.
beer.
Right. Bringing it back to butt chugging a beer.
that's interesting. Like I mean, I'm maybe not. I've always thought about that, but I've now that you guys have mentioned it, like it popped in my head. Like, what really is the difference? Like, it's still getting into your body,
Oh, it's a huge difference.
but yeah, I guess so.
And
Yeah.
if you think, okay, so think about it this
The
way too.
medicine's not being absorbed like it should be.
Think about it too. Like medicine also has like, if you're thinking about like an Advil, it has liquid or like coating over it.
Protective coat.
Yeah,
So then that gets dissolved over time. So it's a slow release throughout your
Liquid
whole body.
gel caps where it
Okay.
says slow release. So it doesn't
So-
disintegrate on your tongue and in your throat on the way down. It has to get down to your belly.
But if
Yeah.
you like are crushing that up, where's all that?
And just going to town online.
Right.
going to town on
But do you see,
pines.
I mean, you're laughing, but it's true.
No, it's just
Yeah. But do you see the difference?
yeah. Okay, all right.
So I mean, that's why they do the things like that.
Yes, indeed.
And that's why some things like you have to take them underneath your tongue
Mm-hmm.
because you have tiny little blood vessels and everything underneath there.
Oh, that's why they say when you're having a heart attack, put aspirin under
And
your tongue.
nitroglycerin underneath your tongue
Oh,
because it'll
Interesting.
it'll
I never-
dissolve faster because that's where all your spit glands are too.
Mm-hmm.
So you put it underneath your tongue, it'll dissolve, and there's little blood vessels underneath there. It'll be absorbed and it just goes straight into your bloodstream.
So,
Interesting.
again, to go back to the beer butt chugging, could you stick an aspirin in your ass then? And would it get in your faster, or is it still better in your mouth?
I mean, I would do it in your mouth because it's closer to your heart.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Excellent. So,
I mean,
wow.
and that's just on the closest body map that I've looked at lately.
Sorry to go on a little bit of a tangent.
People that are short, it might be different.
Right.
I don't know.
So,
Bad Porter doesn't listen to that.
so honestly, now with that's kind of where it stays. Like, that's all the information. There's not much now. So some of the issues, like I said, I have written down before I was going to go to pull my phone out, but like Donnie had, or not even know Donnie kind of meant, but there's no explanation how she got into the tank. The doors and stairs to get to the roof are locked, and only staff who have a passcode and keys can get up there. If you force these doors open, an alarm sounds.
Right.
And they tested that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that on documentaries that I
Right.
watched.
So then the very next thing I have,
Working.
Would you
Yes.
for that hotel, and I'm very surprised it worked.
Yeah.
The timestamp doesn't, but the alarms do. Noted.
right.
Got it.
So I do have
State of the
one.
art, guys. State of the art.
Literally, the very next line is, fire escape could bypass this
Yes.
earlier.
Yes.
When the dogs did they said her scent trail actually was lost near a window that was connected to the fire escape. Kind of interesting. And then a video that was released not too long after her body was found shows that the roof is easily accessible by this fire escape, and there was 2 lids of the tanks were slightly open. But I don't know. I didn't find the time on that. Were they open before they found her body, or after they've been investigating already? Because I don't know what it means by the videos released.
So yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, when they found her body, was
The lid was closed.
Yep.
Okay, and see, and this is huge
Mm-hmm.
because if that's in a 1,000-gallon tank, and she wasn't a very tall woman.
Nope.
So how
And a 20-pound. So
Can you imagine
even
Right,
you or
treading
I,
water trying to
Right.
keep
I was just
steady
gonna
and
say that.
move
it's almost
that?
impossible.
say you or I or anyone who's
I've tried to carry a cooler across a lake
Yeah.
just by treading water. It
Right.
doesn't end well.
Yeah.
right, and she was
I was
this little
underwater
petite girl.
on my tiptoes in mud.
And I didn't write her size down because that's part of it. This
She was
little
like
petite
5'4",
girl,
wasn't
yeah,
she?
little
She was tiny.
petite girl, like 95
110
pounds, I think. Yeah,
I think I read
Yeah.
max.
and you're telling me she was treading water and closed the 20-pound lid, and the tank wasn't all the way filled. So how did she reach the top?
There's no fucking. Excuse me.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
Exactly. It's weird. So
Even a man that's
5'4", 115.
okay.
There
so
you
I
go.
was.
I mean,
There you go.
Fuck.
I know. I've looked into this case a lot, but
Right.
like a man, a 6 foot tall man with, good body strength could not do that because you're saying,
It's
the water
basically
is
a
not
weight.
full.
It's basically a weight.
But you're
you're.
not
I mean,
steady.
it is a weight. You're trying to move, but you're getting pushed down.
And
It's-
you're not
it's
steady
fucking
'cause your
physics.
feet aren't on
Yeah.
anything. So
Yes.
there's nothing to keep you from going in a motion that you want to go into. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I got
So-
excited. I was swimming in the air.
yes, to
I wish the viewers could see this, the listeners.
I know. I'm sorry. We're gonna get video soon.
to
Don't, because I look like a moron all the time.
kind of go back to me talking about the Netflix documentary and how I don't like
Freak
it.
bitch.
It kind of ruins all these conspiracy theories.
It's a good documentary.
And I got to
though.
watch it again because they kind of disprove a lot of things. And, because Wikipedia is edited by people, it's
Right.
not.
Right.
So I believe someone who watched it put the other issues because one of the things it says is, apart from the question of how she got in the roof, others asked if she could have gotten into the tank by herself. Now, all 4 tanks, which this documentary is amazing, it shows they're 4 foot by 8 foot, and they're propped up on concrete blocks. So even though it's 8 foot deep, 8 foot tall, it's higher than 8 foot because they're on the concrete blocks. There's no fixed access to them, and
Which
hotel
doesn't
workers.
seem steady to me. Why is this water tank propped up on
Well,
concrete
it's not like it's on a cylinder like you see a car getting jacked, and it's like a.
Are you
thick-
sure this
yeah.
is Skid Row?
Yeah, well, yeah, true. So, there was no fixed access. Hotel workers had to use a ladder to look in the water. Now, they were protected by heavy lids, like I said, that would be difficult to replace from within. But this is where it says the hotel employee who found the body said that the lid was open at the time. Now, this is weird because the Netflix documentary says that and this says this, but everywhere else I've seen and done research at says they were closed. So this says it removes the issue of how she could have closed the lid from the inside. Police dogs that did search the hotel, even on the roof, shortly after her disappearance, was noted, did not find any trace of her.
Interesting.
Right.
Like
so,
she was carried and put into
Exactly,
there.
yeah.
So now I don't know a lot about police scent dogs. I know if you're walking, it follows your trace. So if you're carrying them, your scent doesn't go on the ground still either. No, just the person's carrying you. Like I don't know how scent travels. You know,
I don't see. I would feel as being a woman, my hair sheds everywhere. Okay,
Yeah,
I lose hair like you wouldn't believe. So I feel like there has to be some trace of her hair or something. Like she has to be drooling. Some sort of body fluid has to be coming out of her. Like, and I'm just being crude. You know what I mean?
Right.
right? Because even if let's say she's knocked out, I'm sure if she was knocked out by some kind of force, maybe blood's dripping, or she's drooling and spit's coming out of her mouth,
Tears,
or something. Yeah.
She could have
Sweat.
sneezed. I mean,
Sweat,
yeah.
Yeah.
hair, something. I don't know. I find that really. You lose something, skin cells, whatever it
Yeah.
happens to be,
Yeah.
and I feel like a dog would pick that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I actually today I was watching Forensic Files, and because I was taking a little nippy nap on the couch. Okay, I napped all day. Either way, I was watching Forensic Files, and this dog, the woman that trained this police canine, they picked this oar up out of the water, and it was covered in muck, and she was like. She was telling the dog to sniff it, and she didn't want anyone else to touch it. And they were like, well, what is the dog smelling? And she was like, I know this sounds weird, but they sense fear. They smell fear. And it's adrenaline that they're smelling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to think, just like you said, even if she's unconscious,
She was fearful, probably.
because she's been panicking the whole
Right.
time because she thinks she's being followed.
So the fact that there's no trace of her on that roof, how?
it doesn't. I don't buy it.
So this is nowhere in notes anywhere. So maybe she was killed somewhere else first, and that's why she's got no because they said it was an accidental drowning, which means there had to be water in her lungs. She had to be.
And you said
breathing,
no
blah, blah,
signs
blah.
of suicide, no signs
Right.
of foul play.
Right.
So if she was killed somewhere, she would, and especially in water,
Yeah.
you would have seen signs of handprints,
Definitely.
signs of strangulation, because those bruises all come to the surface, especially when the blood vessels get cold.
And another thing though is they didn't do a rape kit, and they didn't check under her nails.
Could they, after 3 weeks of being in the
That's
water?
that's the
But
problem.
did they even check? We don't
that's
know
another
if they
thing
did.
too. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's been I feel like they should have at least checked. Who knows? There's
Yeah.
been way weirder shit that they've gotten, and this is really, again, very crude. A rape kit, I feel like they could have gotten something out of. That's inside of your body. Fingernails, maybe not so much, because that's sitting in the water.
Right.
That's way more exposed to the elements.
Yeah.
But a rape kit, that's internal.
I thought I found that somewhere else about she had a. Oh, here it goes. So this is two things in a row.
Sorry, I just got the goose pimples all the way up my back.
Proponents of the theory that the elevator video shows she was under the influence of drugs, they're not dissuaded by their absence of the toxicology screen, because they're suggesting that they may have broken down during the period of time her body decomposed in the tank, or that she may have taken a rare cocktails of such drugs that a normal screen would not detect. Okay.
Right. No way.
Right.
But they found alcohol in her system
Right.
3 weeks later.
Right. And then it says that this is part goes into this same thing. The very low level of her prescription drugs in her system and the number of pills left in her prescription bottle suggested that she was under medicating or had recently stopped taking her medication for bipolar disorder, which may have led to a psychotic episode. Again, they like to go back to that one a lot.
Right.
Like-
Well, because they're victim blaming.
Well, Lupe's walking away for this part, so I hope he's listening.
This is the part I wanted to get into. It kind of ties into literally what you just said.
So we had a special segment.
So
Of course.
The autopsy report and its conclusions were also questioned based on the incomplete information. For instance, it does not say what the results of the rape kit and fingernail kit were, or even if they were processed.
Right.
So they were taken that just don't know if they've been processed.
Right. It also records.
What's the point?
So it also records subcutaneous pooling.
Subcutaneous
Pooling of blood in Lam's anal area, which some observers suggested was a sign of sexual abuse. But one pathologist noted it could also have resulted from the bloating in the course of the body's decomposition.
Correct.
And her rectum was also prolapsed.
Correct.
The coroner's pathologists were ambivalent about their conclusion that Lamb's death was accidental. So they're not all saying it was accidental.
So she was hemorrhaging.
Yes.
So that could also be indicative of sexual assault.
Exactly.
So
well, I want to know why
but
these fingernail kit and rape kit weren't processed, and or is that something being kept quiet by the
and
police
especially with a prolapsed. Okay, here we go.
But again, so here's the other thing that's kind of the conspiracy theory shit.
But she has signs of sexual assault. Why wouldn't you fucking process at least the sexual assault kit?
Because they're not saying it. Some of them aren't saying it is a sign of it. They're saying it's just because she was decomposed. Again, I'll bet you, this is what, 2012, 2013?
I know.
Oh, it was mental disorder. It wasn't. It was just her body decomposing. You know, they
didn't look into it as they should have.
Because they thought they had their answer already.
They took the easy way out.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was, what do they call it? When you have your end already and you use your research to get what you want to get. I forgot what it's called. Destination.
Destination fucked. Sorry.
Yeah, I forgot the word. I forgot what it's called, but
that's an Australian
bias, something biased. End bias, something. Anyways.
Yeah.
But here's another part of conspiracy. After her death, her Tumblr blog was updated. Now, they say
I saw that.
Yes, they say presumably, Tumblr has this queue option, so they think it might have been done through that, where they allow posts to automatically publish themselves when the user's away. So she may have set future blogs, but also her phone was not found either with her body in her hotel room. So whether the continued updates to her blog were facilitated by the theft of her phone, the work of a hacker, or through the Tumblr queue,
I just got to
is not known, nor is it known whether the updates are related to her death or not, because I guess they haven't released what the updates even were.
So
and they were taken down, correct?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. The blog's been taken down since then now.
So that
oh, God.
That
part freaks me out so
that
bad.
last phone that was missing, quote unquote, wasn't even her phone. It was her friend's phone.
Oh,
it was
really?
a friend's phone.
How did I know?
It was a friend's BlackBerry.
Okay.
Let's take it back.
Yeah, seriously. She has a habit of losing phones.
Okay.
So she had lost her phone prior, and then she had lost this phone too, or her attacker took it.
So at first, because when I had first heard that, I thought, oh, well, she probably just scheduled it to post later when I heard that was an option.
Right.
Because being an avid blogger, I mean, she
Which
probably...
she was.
Right. She probably, had, this moment of, creating 4 or 5 posts at a time.
Right, and if I'm busy enjoying California, I'm not going to have time to post something new.
And I have it too, where I'm feeling super creative, and you know what I mean? I think of a bunch of things at once, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to overwhelm this, you know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe she did it like that. So I thought that originally.
Like along the same lines, I'll whether it's stealing memes or I'll have all these thoughts, and I'll save them in my photos. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to post 3 statuses today. I'll post one later.
Right.
And then sometimes I forget to even post them. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to post this still, you know?
Weeks later. I do the same shit.
And that's another thing too.
Or when I'm mad at Lupe, I save him an Instagram, and then I'll send him the videos later.
That's another thing too. Our phones, we have scheduled messaging.
Yeah.
Like I know my dad will tell me, hey, remind me to do this and this tomorrow. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I'll immediately start texting him, and then I'll schedule the text for tomorrow. Yeah.
I did
not know that.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Wait a minute.
Not to you.
Because you know what's crazy? Because I have my personal phone, my work phone. Like when I want to do something at work, I'll text my work phone from my personal phone, knowing that I wake up in the morning. Oh, I have a message. What is this? Oh shit, I got to do this today.
Right.
But I didn't know you could schedule it for late. Oh.
Yeah, text messages only, not Facebook messages. So I don't do it to you. So
You did text me this morning.
I did because I completely fucking forgot that you were not working today.
I woke up from like 2 Facebook messages and then a text message. I'm like, oh my God, am I dying? Am I okay?
That tells you how busy he is on his route if he's got time to Facebook post and message you all day.
It was like at 4 a.m. this morning.
Fucking around.
Yeah.
Trying to make a point, just joking around him.
Well, I did see the Snapchat of him just driving around listening to music today.
Well, you drive a truck.
That was at the end of my day.
You're dripping. There's juice dripping. It's going to get on the pool table. So one final thing is her parents did sue the Cecil Hotel in 2013, accusing them of a wrongful death. Without going into details, because that's not that. I mean, it's important, but it's not. In 2015, the case was dismissed for random reasons. That was just saying, no, it wasn't a wrongful death. That the Cecil Hotel basically said they're not responsible for her actions. They can't. They said that the hotel argued it could have not have been reasonable to foresee that she might have entered the water tanks. Since it remained unknown how she got into the water tanks, no liability could be assigned for failing to prevent it. Which is fucking weird.
That's weird.
Uh-huh. That's a weird way to get out of
It's
shit.
a roundabout. I was just going to say the same thing. It's a roundabout way to get out of that fucking
Roundabout way.
lawsuit.
I mean, that's like, how could we have known she was going to go on the roof? We're not liable for that. Wait a minute.
That's
what?
literally the whole point of
The alarm system and everything and not being able to get up there.
being liable for
Right.
something.
So I don't.
That's why you
get it.
have fucking insurance for this shit. Mm-hmm. Because you can't understand people.
Yes.
Allie doesn't look like this is annoying her at all.
I'm
She's so triggered.
I actually when I'm done with the elevator game part, because this is my favorite part of it. I want to, like I said, I want to make kind of like an announcement or something. I don't know how you want to phrase it, announcement or a saying, and then I think it'd be better in the beginning of the episode instead of at the end. What I want to say.
Are you pregnant?
I can't tell you that right now, Donnie. I mean, I sure look like it, but.
oh Lord.
So, this is my favorite. Now, I hope you're listening, Marquette Q, because you've been waiting since I told you we were on a podcast for this story. I will text you to let you know about it. The elevator game. Now, some of you have been asking this whole episode now, what the fuck is the elevator game? Well, here it is. It's an urban legend that this game opens a portal to another world. Some say the demon world, some say heaven, some say hell, just another world. It originated in Korea and Japan. Now, as much as you may think, oh, this has got to go way back, some say that it possibly was originated in 2011 only, so not that old. But here's how you do it. Lupe, I nominate you to try this one day.
Nope.
You're talking to the guy that won't even touch a Ouija board.
I
Yeah,
won't touch a
there's-
Ouija board either. Fuck that.
There's some things that I do not touch. I don't
like,
mess with.
this is one of those that I would not do either because if it is true, fuck that.
Yeah.
So,
Just like the bathroom game.
Yeah.
That's another Japanese tale too.
yeah, all those Japanese ones are fucked. So, this in multiple places, there's no, you can do it whenever. I've heard nighttime. One place says you have to start at midnight. Either way, you if you guys want to try this, I'm not going to give you all the rules. I mean, I'll give you all the rules except for when to start. Do your research if you want to get lost in the demon portal. So let's say you start at midnight. And you turn off all your mobile devices and you put away anything that could break your concentration. So there's 4 steps. Step 1, so you need at least 1 player and a building with at least 10 floors. So it can't be short than 10 floors. Step 1, enter the elevator alone or with another player. I don't think more than 2. No outsider can enter with you, nor can you leave at any point during this. If you exit at all, you must start over from part 1 again. Number 2, so you're on the ground floor, the lobby. You ride up to the 4th floor. Then you go down to the 2nd floor. Then you go up to the 6th floor. Back down to the 2nd. Then you go up to the 10th floor. Then finally down to the 5th. Not getting off at all. So, now, what happens, you say? I've reached the 5th floor. Well, if you encounter a mysterious woman, do not, I repeat, do not look at her and do not answer or interact with her in any way whatsoever. The consequences of engaging with her, I'm getting chills from this,
My whole legs are goosebumps.
are said to include the possibility of never returning to the real world. You're stranded in the demon world, the netherworld, the whatever world for fucking ever.
The upside down.
Now, after you stop on the 5th floor,
I almost just fell off this school.
blah, 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 whether someone shows up or not, do not interact with them. You push the button to return to the 1st floor. If the elevator operates correctly and it takes you to the 1st floor, exit immediately. Do not look back. Do not talk to anyone. Go past go. Do not collect $500. Just leave. Go. Now, if instead of going down to the 1st floor, the elevator starts to go up, congratulations. You're being allowed into another world.
Yep.
It might look different, maybe dark and spooky. The power might be out, might be nobody around. It might look you might look out a window and see only a red cross, only is what someone says.
Mm-hmm.
Or you might just lose consciousness altogether. It's unknown because the rules on how to get home, I don't know if anyone's ever done this. So, now you're in this magic world. Fuck yeah, I've had fun here. How do I get home? Yeah, there's 4 ways to get home now, or the 4 steps. First, you must find the same elevator. Finding it might be a problem, and it might seem impossible, but you got to fucking keep searching, because the only way you're getting home is finding that same elevator. Number 2, you got to follow the same floor plan, exactly the same sequence. 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, and then 5. Now, after you reach the 5th floor again, push the 1st floor button. If the elevator starts rising, instead of going to the 1st floor, you better quickly push any fucking button you can for any other floor before you reach the 10th floor. Because if you reach the 10th floor, I don't even have an explanation what happens when you get to the 10th floor. I think you're just fucked. So, that's the elevator game, and it's fucking creepy as fuck. Just like I said, just reading it got me the chills again.
So the loser of the fantasy league has to do that?
Yo!
Which is interesting because look at if we want to go back to that video of Elisa Lam,
The way she got out of it.
the way she started pressing buttons like crazy.
Exactly.
It almost is like,
Right.
yeah.
So, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, they thought she was playing the elevator game, which I said I will explain at the end of the episode. So, thinkers, when you see the video of her, and then now you know what the elevator game is, makes you think it's kind of fucked up. Fucked up. Or to piss Alli off more, if she was having a psychotic episode and was playing the episode or the elevator game, like maybe it ties in together. Like she was trying the elevator game, and the lack of meds maybe thought she was seeing something, you know, because like you had said, and they had mentioned that she was having delusions and seeing things. So maybe not being on her meds, she was in her mind seeing something that wasn't really there, but to her was real, you know? Like
I
still don't know how she got on the fucking roof in the fucking water tank.
I just don't. If you're having delusions and you're terrified, the last thing you're going to do is play that fucking game.
Well, yeah, true. That's another good point. You're right. Why would you play a fucking game when you can see demons?
Listen, if I'm terrified, I myself, at 32 years old, am terrified of the dark. I hate the dark. If I am scared, the last thing I'm going to go do is face my fucking fear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, I'm not just going to go get up out of bed.
Right.
In the dark. No, I'm going to be like, hey, turn on the fucking light.
Right.
So, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yes. So, that concludes my...
I think you did a
Elisa
swell
Lam story.
job.
Thank you.
Don't erase that. That wasn't what that was for.
I broke my cherry. I'm doing my own one. Now I'm less nervous for the next one, and I already have ideas on how to compose my notes better.
It doesn't hurt so bad the second time.
I hope not.
I guess we'll find out when I'm up next.
You've done a few already, though.
Yeah, your cherry's already been popped, you whore.
Yeah, you just only did one since
You
Allie's been
whore.
here.
You're such a whore.
Boo,
I
you
wonder
whore.
when Donnie's ever going to do an episode.
So here, okay,
I just want to say to everyone, I hope you enjoyed my take on it. If you are interested, do like this story, do yourself a favor and watch that Netflix documentary. Now, again, to me, it seemed like they were looking for real life answers and they wanted to solve the case, which I want the case solved too. But I still, part of me wants to believe some of the paranormal or wants to believe it's not solved. So, yes, go ahead and watch the documentary. And feel free to let us know on our social medias about how you feel about this stuff, because it's fucking interesting. It's a crazy ass story, and it keeps me perplexed.
Yeah, definitely. You can find us on all your major podcast platforms, at Instagram at 3GuysPod2021. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I kind of got thrown off there. You can find us on Facebook
Impulsive Thoughts on Facebook.
and you can find us at Twitter, at whatever.
Did you just put a porn site out?
Twitter.
Thoughts Pod.
Twitter, my ex.
What is our Twitter handle?
Thoughts Pod 2023.
Oh, TikTok.
TikTok, we have 2 videos still.
Yeah,
Two
still 2 videos.
still.
Yeah. We're working on that.
Soon enough, it's just gonna be Lupe posting like those filters on there of like, who is my Bray Wyatt character,
Hey, that's mine. Don't take mine.
or who is my Disney crush. That's what it's gonna be.
Is it just gonna be me? Apparently, that's fucked up. But yeah, joined here with Mr.
Payback
Donnie
tomorrow.
Rowe. To my right,
See,
Dano, who did an amazing job on this episode.
Thank you. You're too kind. Payback tomorrow. WWE
Oh yeah,
Payback.
that's right. And then Ellie P to my left.
Hi.
And before you do your sign off, I think if we to stall during the week, also I can post the videos of the girls doing their LA Night impersonation.
And I'm your favorite host with the most,
Debatable.
Lupe. And
that's not co-signed by anyone else.
it's not. It is. Probably.
Probably. We had 6 votes on the vote the one time, right? Or 7.
Yeah,
votes?
something like that.
So you are someone's favorite.
I paid most of those people.
Damn. All right, guys.
You
Well,
are expensive. I tell you this all the time.
with that being said, don't believe everything you think. Peace.